Joining me now, Congressman Andy Biggs from the border state of Arizona. He also sits on the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Charles.
All right, so, 6 months ago, the media laughed at President Trump. They said it was all make-believe. And all of a sudden, we've got these record-breaking numbers of families, unoccupied children. Everyone agrees it's a crisis. Can we somehow, maybe in Washington, D.C., get beyond the typical finger-pointing and get something resolved?
Well, you would think that we would, Charles. And, a lot of the folks that are claiming there's basically atrocities going down the border, they're the same folks that said there was no crisis. But when I've been down there and I've been to these holding facilities, by the way, CBP doesn't have really detention facilities. They have holding facilities. And ICE has detention facilities. They're both overmatched. They're overpowered. 25,000 bed shortfall. Think of that, Charles. And that's why you're getting so many people caught and released. And we should be able to get something done on this, but it's a constant fight. You need to get control of your border, but you also have to make sure that the supplies are there. And we've seen that the supplies are there. It's overcrowded. It's tough circumstances. It's not horrific. It's not an atrocity. But it's a tough circumstance. There's no doubt.
Well, there have been reports of deaths, reports of the conditions, and what rises to the level of an atrocity for you?
Well, an atrocity would be if we're deliberately trying to put people in harm's way, and that's not what's happening here. This is happening because you have incentivized, not you, but we as a nation have incentivized hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens to come into this country, and they come up and they know that the facilities are going to be there and they're only going to be there for a short time, and then they're going to be released. They have food, they've got water, they've got shelter, they've got air conditioning, they've got the sanitary supplies that they need. It's just not pristine as we would like it to be, as we would expect it to be if we're staying at a Holiday Inn. They're in a detention facility, Charles, and it's not perfect, but it is better in some respects than being out in the desert sun when it's 120 degrees, coming across, and maybe you've got a parent who's put the child in the hands of cartel, for Pete's sakes. These are the atrocities, the human trafficking, the sex traffickers that are going on. So I think it is a mischaracterization of the context, the entire context of what's going on.